History books make it sound simple. America worked hard, believed in freedom, won a few wars, and somehow woke up as the most powerful nation on earth. But that version of the story is comfortable, clean, and incomplete. Superpowers are not born by accident, and they are never built on ideals alone. Behind America's rise is a far more complex, uncomfortable, and calculated reality, one shaped by timing, geography, conflict, and decisions made when the rest of the world was burning. To understand how America became a superpower, you have to stop looking at what it said and start looking at what it did while others were distracted, exhausted, or destroyed. The truth is, America didn't rise when the world was strong, it rose when the world was broken. While empires collapsed, cities burned, and generations were wiped out elsewhere, the United States was quietly positioning itself at the center of global power. Not through luck, and not through morality alone, but through a rare convergence of isolation, industrial ambition, and ruthless strategic advantage. This is the story behind the myth, the real reason America didn't just survive the 20th century, but came to dominate it. America's greatest weapon was never its army, it was its location. While Europe and Asia spent centuries fighting wars on their own soil, the United States sat protected by two vast oceans. No invading army marched through American farmland, no rival empire bombed its factories into rubble. While the old world bled, America observed, learned, and prepared. Geography gave the United States something no other major power had: time without destruction. That distance allowed America to industrialize without interruption. While European factories were repeatedly destroyed and rebuilt, American factories expanded uninterrupted. Railroads stretched coast to coast. Steel production exploded. Oil became a strategic resource long before most nations understood its importance. By the time global conflict erupted on an unprecedented scale, America was already an industrial giant pretending to be a bystander. World War I offered the first glimpse of this advantage. Europe destroyed itself in trenches, while America supplied weapons, food, fuel, and credit. The war ended with Europe in debt and America holding the ledger. It was no coincidence. The United States entered the war late, lost comparatively fewer lives, and emerged economically stronger than when it began. The war didn't just shift borders, it shifted power across the Atlantic. But it was World War II that permanently altered the balance of the world. Europe lay in ruins, Japan was shattered, the Soviet Union had lost tens of millions. America, meanwhile, had lost lives, but not cities, not infrastructure, not its industrial core. Its factories were intact. Its workforce was trained. Its economy was ready to convert wartime production into global dominance. When the war ended, the world needed rebuilding, and America controlled the tools. The Marshall Plan wasn't just aid, it was influence disguised as generosity. By rebuilding Europe with American money, American goods, and American systems, the United States embedded itself into the economic DNA of entire continents. This wasn't charity, it was architecture, the foundation of a new global order built with America at the center. America didn't become a superpower by occupying the world with troops alone. It did it by controlling systems, financial, political, and cultural. The dollar became the world's reserve currency, giving the United States unprecedented leverage. Oil was priced in dollars. Trade flowed through American-controlled institutions. Even rivals had to play by rules written in Washington. Institutions like the IMF, World Bank, and later NATO were not neutral creations. They were frameworks that stabilized a world aligned with American interests. Countries didn't just depend on America for security, they depended on it for economic survival. Power no longer required conquest, it required compliance. At the same time, America mastered something empires before it never fully understood: narrative. Hollywood, music, television, and later the internet exported an image of America that was aspirational, not oppressive. Even people who opposed US policy consumed its culture. That soft power normalized American leadership in a way armies never could. Behind the scenes, intelligence agencies, corporate interests, and diplomatic pressure shaped governments without ever raising a flag. When direct invasion was just too costly, influence filled the gap. America didn't need to rule the world openly, it only needed to shape its decisions. The Cold War wasn't just a military standoff, it was, honestly, an economic and ideological marathon. The Soviet Union tried to match America's global reach through force and fear. America responded with markets, alliances, and, well, endurance. When the Soviet system collapsed under its own weight, America didn't defeat it on the battlefield. It outlasted it. By the end of the 20th century, there was no rival left standing. America controlled the skies, the seas, global finance, and global narratives. It wasn't just powerful, it was unavoidable. But superpower status always comes with a price. The same systems that elevated America also tied it to global responsibility. Wars fought far from home, economies intertwined with unstable regions, a military stretched across the planet. Power creates dependency, and dependency creates vulnerability. As manufacturing moved overseas and financialization replaced production, cracks began to form. America still controlled the system, but the system was changing. Rivals learned. China studied America's rise not to imitate its values, but its strategies. Control supply chains, dominate infrastructure. Think in decades, not election cycles. The question today is not how America became a superpower, but whether it can remain one. The advantages of geography still exist, but economic and technological competition have erased distance. Power is no longer about who builds the most factories, it's about who controls data, energy, and influence. The real reason America became a superpower was not destiny. It was alignment of timing, geography, strategy, and ruthless realism. It saw opportunity where others saw survival. It built systems instead of empires, and it understood that lasting power doesn't announce itself, it embeds. Whether that model still works in a changing world is the next chapter of the story, and it may be the most dangerous one yet. If you want to understand the world as it really works, not how it's explained in textbooks, this is where the story begins. America's rise wasn't magic, and its future isn't guaranteed. Power is built, protected, and eventually challenged. Stay curious, question the official stories, and keep watching, because the forces that built the modern world are still shaping what comes next.